Yosemite National Park is one of the most famous parks in the world. With over 4.1 million visitors in 2024 alone, the park has been constantly evolving to keep up with demand, expanding its infrastructure, amenities, and trail systems. Imagine a time though when this valley was virtually empty. Flipping back through the history books to 1879, when the park saw less than 5,000 visitors yearly. During this time, Yosemite was isolated, encircled by the rugged and unforgiving Sierra Nevada mountains, with only a few rugged wagon trails allowing access from the west. For the park to grow into what it is today, roads had to be built, and 25 miles away on a remote cliffside at 10,000 feet were prospectors willing to commit their lives to accomplish just that. This is the story of the May-Lundy Mine, a now toxic ghost town that created Yosemite's most crucial road. The year is 1879. Decades have passed since the California Gold Rush, and Yosemite isn't even a national park yet. With the riches of the western Sierras tapped out, prospectors have been flocking east, making the hard trek to new mining boomtowns like Bodie, with smaller logging-based towns like Lundy expanding nearby to supply a constant stream of lumber to the mines. It was here above the town of Lundy at just over 10,000 feet that two prospectors found an outcrop of gold-bearing quartz, staking their claim for what would become one of the most successful long-term mines in the eastern Sierras. To get a better idea of just how remote this mine was, it's time to take a hike. Beginning at Lundy Lake, we climb quickly, ascending 1,800 feet in just 3 miles, walking past countless creek crossings, switchbacks, and waterfalls. I'm dying and out of shape, but there's a waterfall. As we continued up the long-forgotten trail, we began passing remnants of the mine's past, with the monumental tailings pile coming into view shortly after. The miners here were chasing veins of quartz which cut through the granite of the Sierra Mountains just like what you're seeing here. This was a specific type of quartz. It contained sulfides, which are minerals that contain metal, such as chrysocolla for copper, galena for silver, or in the case of the May-Lundy Mine, pyrite for gold. With over 20 years of constant production at this mine, some of this ore was bound to be left behind, coming across a perfect example of this quartz while on our hike, breaking it open at home to reveal a giant pocket of pyrite with gold likely trapped inside. By 1882, the May-Lundy Mine was one of the largest producers in the region, with tramways ascending to the mountain peaks extracting millions of dollars of ore, setting the stage for countless other mining operations to start up in the area. Dams were constructed to regulate water flow, and stamp mills were brought in by mule teams to crush and process gold on site. All of the success here wasn't without risk, as there was one looming danger always ready to wipe out operations. With an annual average of 25 feet of snow, winter in the Sierras was the ultimate challenge, threatening to wipe out entire mining seasons or lives. As we hiked towards the mine, signs of recent avalanche activity became visible, with entire walls of pine trees being snapped in half and folded over. A reminder as to why so many lonesome cemeteries dotted this region, often dedicated to avalanche victims such as this one from 1911. The huge amount of snow did more than just trigger avalanches. It severed supply chains, destroyed infrastructure, and put the lives of all the miners at risk. With no dedicated road serving the region, something had to be built if the May-Lundy Mine and its competitors were to survive. 4 miles away, the Great Sierra Mine was beginning to emerge. Unable to get heavy equipment to its remote location, investors leveraged the long-term success of the May-Lundy Mine to receive funding for a $64,000 private wagon trail connecting from the west, opening up the inter-mine transfers of equipment they needed from Lundy to kickstart operations, as well as providing direct access to the western Sierra Nevadas, providing a route for ore, more heavy equipment, and supplies, officially linking the eastern Sierra mining boom to the development of Yosemite National Park. The Great Sierra Mine failed almost immediately, spending around $300,000 without producing any gold or silver. Meanwhile, the May-Lundy Mine continued on for over 20 years, justifying the continued maintenance of the private wagon road, which was eventually acquired by the government in 1915, formally becoming Highway 120. This transition created the Eastern Yosemite Gateway and provided the infrastructure for the Park Service to rapidly develop northern Yosemite, creating most of the iconic destinations we know today, including Tuolumne Meadows, Tenaya Lake, Olmsted View, and countless more campgrounds, trail systems, and ranger stations. A little known fact is that a huge amount of modern US highways and Forest Service roads were originally funded and built for private operations such as logging or mining. Once these operations eventually shut down, the federal government took over ownership and transferred them back to public use through the Bureau of Land Management and Forest Service. Without the May-Lundy Mine, the funding for that private wagon road that eventually became Highway 120 may have never happened, and there was no guarantee that the Park Service would have built a highway either, as they didn't have any incentives to fund and build a cross-Sierra highway. It was because of that private wagon trail we were able to essentially speed run the development of all of northern Yosemite. Today, the mine and much of its equipment is long abandoned. Heavy metal polluted groundwater streams from its collapsed mine shaft, with the byproduct of ore processing creating barren piles of tainted orange mud, making the nearby Crystal Lake a toxic bath filled with lead and arsenic. While the miners in the 1880s were just trying to make a living, their work here in Lundy Canyon led to the development of the Yosemite National Park that we know today. My name is Jake with Pacific Roamer. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the trails.